Your LinkedIn feed can give you daily insights from your professional community. It cannot keep you updated on the daily office gossip.
Oh my gosh, no way.
It can help you stay informed on the latest news and trends in your industry. It cannot stop your boss from trying to start a new office trend. Who's ready for Flip-Flop Fridays? And while we can't stop all of the office jargon,
Does this fight with our collaborative lattice work metric?
LinkedIn can start taking your career to new heights. LinkedIn is the network that works for you.
Zootopia 2 has come home to Disney+.
Let's go!
Get ready for a new case.
We're gonna crack this case and prove we're the greatest partners of all time!
New friends.
You are... Gary the Snake. And your last name? The Snake.
Dream team.
And new habitats.
Zootopia has a secret reptile population.
You can watch the record-breaking phenomenon at home.
You're clearly working at.
Zootopia 2, now available on Disney+, rated PG.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tuned Into Tennis. I'm your host, Myles David, back again to bring you the most colorful tennis commentary that you can find on the internet, in my humble opinion, at least. Today, we are on the other side officially of the Australian Open, but we won't stray too far away from it today because I have a special guest that actually was boots on the ground, as we say, experiencing the Australian Open for the first time, and not just for the first time. It was the tail end of their career fan slam. They've attended all 4 Grand Slams that are on offer in the professional tennis world, and they are here today to give me their experience about the Australian Open and what it feels like to have completed that. A brief bio about my special guest today. Dr. Devin Sasser is a therapeutic optometrist practicing in the DMV. He's a graduate of the University of Missouri St. Louis College of Optometry. That means he's very smart, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Sasser has dedicated his career to providing exceptional eye care. Also in 2014, he was honored with Xavier University of Louisiana's prestigious 40 Under 40 Alumni Award, recognizing his professional achievements and leadership. Beyond his work in optometry, which he is clearly achieving well at, he's a devoted tennis enthusiast, from analyzing matches to attending tournaments and also going back and forth with me on Instagram about his love for tennis. His sport mirrors his commitment to precision and excellence in his profession. Hopefully, my conversation with our special guest today is a lot smoother than I went through that intro. So I'm going to ask him how he's doing and get this conversation started. How are you, Devin? How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for the intro. Yeah, it's a little verbose, but you did a fantastic job with it. But super excited to be here. And yeah, I've been watching you for quite some time, and to be on the podcast is amazing. So honored to be here. Thanks for having me.
You guys can't see this, but Dr. Devin is giving the estheticians and the dermatologists a run for his money, because the skin is as clear as your vision, maybe?
Yeah, man. So one thing I'm super type A about is skincare. I had really bad bouts of acne and in undergrad and also in high school. And so when my TikTok is skincare stuff and then recovery stretches. And so I spent a lot of time making sure it stays together.
Is that your TikTok algorithm or what you post on TikTok?
No, that's it. That's what I see when I open TikTok. It's literally just how to take care of your skin, how to hydrate and stretch and things like that. So it's my entire life at this point. But a lot of work goes into it. But thank God that it's working for me right now.
Remind me to ask about your skincare while you were actually in Melbourne. But have you been affected by the TikTok thing lately? The not in the US, but really coming back? Because I've been affected. I was one of those strange people that thought they were being cool by deleting it. And then a couple of hours later, it was right back available to us. So
call me Coco Gauff, because I was also under the impression that being in Australia would exempt me from having the TikTok ban take place. And I opened my app and I got the same error message she posted on her story. I was like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm not someone who uses TikTok a ton, but when I do use it, it's to find something that I need, because I'm too lazy to go to Google.
I'm more of a YouTuber when I need to find something, so TikTok hasn't gravitated towards me in that way, but I'm going to put this out there. Maybe my listeners and you can hold me to it. I'm going to try to put myself on TikTok a lot more this year because some birdies have told me that there's a tennis community out there that I'm not tapping
Oh
into
yeah.
that I should be. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
absolutely. Yeah, I think you would really blow up if you were to pop on TikTok. Like that's where it's at these days. The young folks, you gotta keep track.
He made me feel so old because they're like Gen Z and they're over there dancing and gyrating, and
Yep.
I just
Yeah. They're they have that same bass movement in all the TikToks.
they do a five,
Yeah.
six, seven, eight of it all.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into some of your movement outside of TikTok. We're gonna try to follow some of my notes here too, because to be honest with you guys, this is just going to be a very impromptu, colorful tennis conversation. Some of the kind I typically have on my socials with people, because I mean, we met on socials, right? I'll ask you this before we started recording, but I think it'd be interesting to let the listeners know how you like came upon Tuned Into Tennis and that whole story. Let us know.
Yeah. So I came to the podcast as a fan via just searching it on the podcast Apple app just to see who's talking about tennis. I've been really into tennis for some time, but I've been getting my information from the same folks, and I wanted to shake things up a little bit, get a little bit of diversity in who's breaking the news and talking about tennis and breaking it down. So that's how I found you. I was just randomly searching tennis podcast on the app, and then found you that way. And then I later found you on social media. We connected, and then now the rest is history. We kind of go back and forth about current topics and whatnot, and it's a good key, as they say, as the kids say.
I enjoy a tennis key. I really do. I really, really do. And you're good at it. You're good at it. So I'm glad you're here today. Before we get into your experience in Australia, I guess we should do a little bit of digging into your background with tennis. So this is your first time on the show, so I have to ask you, what is your earliest tennis memory? You've been watching for a while, but if there's something that kind of sparked the whole tennis fever, if you will, what was that one thing that you can first remember?
Yeah, so it's kind of a two-part question. What my first tennis memory was actually occurred in 2001 at the U.S. Open when Venus and Serena were in prime time. It's the first women's match they ever had in prime time, and that is what got me like, oh, this is a thing. This is exciting. My family and people were excited about the fact that there were two young Black women in primetime TV, and they're going to play. They're sisters, and so that story kind of captured me. But I didn't really fall in love with tennis or really get into tennis until 2007. And oddly enough, it was because of the Australian Open. So that was a year that Serena kind of mollywopped Maria Sharapova in the finals in that neon green outfit. That was my intro to falling in love with tennis. And later that year came my all-time Serena Williams favorite performance ever, which occurred at the 2007 Miami Open, which, if you know anything about that match, in the finals, yes, she was playing, Justine Ennis. She was down 0-6, 4-5, 15-40, so Justine had 2 match points, and Serena somehow won that match. So that was one of the many examples of her kind of fighting spirit, and that's what kind of made me really fall in love with tennis. So I came because of Serena, but I stayed because I fell in love with everything else.
I love that Serena is such a catalyst for a lot of people, like in our age range, which I think we're in similar age ranges.
Yeah, 36, 1988.
Okay, great. I turned 32 this year, so we're in the same age range. Because Serena was my catalyst. I've talked about this a lot, and actually, I've talked about the Australian Open in 2007 being like the first full slam that I watched from beginning to end. So I have a special connection with that one too. It's so interesting how she's connected so many different people, and like the fact that she still is doing that in a way, like right now in this moment, she's connecting both of us. So can't talk about her enough. Where else do I want to go? You know what? I feel like that I'm just so ready to dig into your Australian Open experience. Yeah. But one of the questions I like to ask people sometimes is like, what song is stuck in their head at the moment? Because I feel like I always have one. But I'm going to make it specific to you just days away from being in Melbourne. Was there a song that they played like on the grounds of the AO that you couldn't get away from? maybe not your favorite, but you felt like every time you were on the grounds, you heard it?
Yeah. So on the grounds, not so much because they didn't really play a lot of music outside of the usual for between players and things like that. But what I will say is that I watched a lot of the tournament at home when it got too late because, again, 36. So by 9 o'clock, I'm like, I need to be in bed. And so they have the night matches they have coming on. And I was actually surprised by how current the music selection they use between commercial breaks and things like that on Channel 9, which is their big kind of it's like their ESPN essentially. And so they were playing Doechii, like what it is, what's up? Like they played that so much. And I was actually really surprised by that. And it got to the point where I had to go back and like re-add it to my library because I was like, I do love this song. And it's been a while since I've like spinned it a couple of times. So yeah, they kept playing that one to the point where it was in my subconscious at some point.
That's a good one because I kind of forgot that she's also the creator of that song because I've been stuck on her most recent songs, Nissan Altima, and don't tell me the other one, Denial. Denial is a river. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. That's a thing. It's something that she does. It's in her catalog, I'm sure.
I enjoy it. It was that little clip that I saw with her and Issa Rae that kind of went viral that made me really be like, oh, there's actual talent here. She's just not a flimsy here today, gone tomorrow rapper. No shade to Ice Spice. Sorry if Ice Spice is your favorite. Sorry.
She's not, but when they can, it's just great for her. I'm sure she pays the money.
Okay, Dr. Devin, I actually am going to give you the reins for when we really get into this conversation about your AO experience, because like I said at the top, or before we recorded, my morning has been all over the place. And we're just going to have a very organic conversation. So when I say Australian Open 2025, from your experience being on the grounds, what comes up first for you? Like what is a player's name, a moment, a feeling? Just blurt out what comes to mind to you.
Yeah, as far as players are concerned, I'm gonna have to say Naomi Osaka, because I was actually front row center at the match between her and Muhova. And I think it was the second round, I'm pretty sure. And that match was the most electric match that I went to the entire time I was there. It was, the entire stadium was full. So it was on one of the show courts called Kia Arena, which is one of the free courts. You have a grounds pass, which is nice because everyone has a chance to see it. But when I tell you that thing was rocking, that place was moving. Everyone was super excited. Most people were there for Osaka, but she came out really, really slow in that matchup and got down really fast. And it looked like she was going to quit. She put the towel over her head after the first set, and she looked really dejected. But she came out in that second set and just lit that entire place up. And I have not seen, that was my first time seeing Naomi Osaka play in person. And I've always heard legend about how she strikes the ball and what it sounds like and what it feels like and watching it. But man, nothing could have prepared me for how fast and how hard that ball was coming off of her racket. And she went into God mode for like an hour. It was amazing to see. And when she finished, you would think she won the slam by like the applause that was coming. I think everyone was really super excited just to see her kind of get her footing back. And it did feel like she was in Grand Slam winning form at that point. So that was pretty amazing to see.
I'm torn between my reaction being how happy I was to watch that match on television. I'm like looking off to the distance at the television I was watching it on and remembering all of the things that came up from Naomi playing well. And then as soon as I felt that, I remembered that the next round she had to retire mid-match. So it's a weird juxtaposition of feelings. Was Naomi on your short list of players to see going into Australia? And like, did you, I guess the second part of that is, do you have a different perspective on her now, seeing her live and kind of getting some of that legend for yourself?
Yeah, so she wasn't actually on my list of people I had to see. I love Naomi, but I mean, I was like, well, I want to see people who could, potentially win this championship. So I want to see the very beginnings, and now I want to come back and see the quarterfinals when they've gotten a little bit further in the tournament and kind of compared the two. So she wasn't on my list, but I will say after seeing her, I want to see her again. If that Naomi shows up to any tennis tournament, I want to be there. It was magical to see. It's the reason why she's won 4 Grand Slam championships, right? And so to be able to see that championship form was astounding, and it was something I would definitely pay to see again if she were to do anything, even if it's the exhibition. I would show up to that. But yeah, she's on my list now, I would say.
An exhibition?
You know, I'm into exhibitions. I'm into it. I'm into it. I like it. I think they're fun, and it's fun to see the more playful side and of these very serious athletes. A great example is, I'm sure we'll get into later, is Coco Gauff and how different she is in an exhibition match versus a real match. She's very serious. She's a very serious person when it comes to like on court, but she's actually a really cool, young, hip person outside of that. So to see that part of her in person is really cool. And that's usually what happens with the exhibitions in my experience.
Yeah, it does offer a different layer to a player's personality, especially like if there's one thing I do like about them, because, you know, largely I'm not into them because I watch so much competitive tennis and nothing really kind of competes with, you know, stakes and pressure and all that stuff. But I do enjoy the exhibitions where they're mic'd up and they have their Britney Spears moment when it's kind of like, you know, tan into their lips.
Yeah.
And we just kind of get to hear them talk through a point or, you know, do the extra long grunt to try to entertain the crowd or whatever it is that they do. I do enjoy that part. But that leads me to another question. I guess we're kind of going to go backwards here for a second. Were you in Australia and in Melbourne for like the beginning of the tournament pre stuff, like some of those exhibitions? Were you there for that?
No, so I got there on day one. I literally got off the plane and went straight. I dropped my bag off at the hotel and went straight to day one.
You were ready.
I was ready. I was like, this plane ride has been too long. I don't want to sit down anywhere. I just want to stand up and walk around. So I went straight to the facilities there. But so for the U.S. Open, I've been to Fan Week and things like that. And it is pretty cool. It's always cool to see them practice. I think personally practice is sometimes more entertaining than the actual matches are because you're really getting a sense of what they're doing, how they're hitting the ball. And as someone who actually plays tennis, sometimes very moderately and on a low level.
Pause, because I distinctly remember a comment I feel like I left under your Instagram picture now in reference to that. And I think you were doing something like you just did, being a little self-deprecating. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at you play and I'm like, you look completely fine. Like, and it's about having fun. So remember I told you that, okay? The next time that you're on the court, remember that it's about fun. This is my elementary PE teacher coming out, I guess.
Probably Coco, because I'm taking it very serious. And I was like, I have not improved, and what's going on? I need to fix my forehand. It's we're sisters, she and I.
Y'all see each other. So, who did you continue your statement? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just completely derail you. Who did you see on day one of the championships? I know day one was a little like there were some obstacles to go over, right? In day one,
yeah, day one was marred by torrential rain. It just rained the entire day. So I did get there and I was able to see Leylah Fernandez's first round. We saw a set and then they were starting a second set and then they had to call it because the rain started to drip a little bit. And then within 5 minutes, we're talking about like real rain, like New Orleans rain in the summer and during hurricane season rain, just coming down. And it wasn't really letting up. And, you know, there's only a certain level to I'll be able to tolerate that. And I'm going back to my hotel room. So I ended up going back. I think they played maybe 1 or 2 matches. They had some under the roof. I think Chinwin was playing and under the roof and things like that. But I didn't have tickets to Rod Laver that day. So I just went home and kind of chilled out. But Leylah was the only person I was able to see on that first day, which was a bit of a bummer.
Because it was Leylah or because of the rain?
You know what? She's actually a good watch. She's a great watch. She's very talented, very feisty. But she's a great watch. I'll leave it at that.
I didn't mean to put you on the Leylah Fernandez spot. You know what I think it is when it comes to Leylah Fernandez specifically? Her match against Coco that they put in prime time. It stuck with me. It stuck with me because I think I want that matchup to be more of a rivalry than it actually will end up being. And I kind of want more for Leylah Fernandez than she might end up being. Sorry, Leylah Fernandez.
I mean, it's a fair assessment, right? Because the thing about Leylah Fernandez is she doesn't really have any big weapons other than like mentality, right? Which is a very important weapon. But if you come up with someone who's equally as mentally strong, but actually has weapons, I mean, you can't really do much about that. Leylah is really good at creating angles and cutting things off the court and things like that. But when you have someone who's as athletic as Coco, that's pretty much null and void. That's not going to impact her in a way that it would impact someone else.
I just think that she doesn't bring the right tactics to the court that would actually bring out the weapons that she has. And I thought by now we would have figured that out, because 2021 was her splash and we're in 2025. And in tennis time, that's a lot of time that has passed.
She's cute outfit, though. I'll give her that. I like the fits. Lululemon. She looks great.
Did you like the Lululemon fit?
Hers? I thought
if you want me to segue into another Lululemon kit, I can, but I'll give you Layla Fernandez for now.
Yeah, I didn't mind the Lululemon kit this time around. I like the color. I guess the color is what got me. The kind of fuchsia. I'm into that.
That sounds dangerously close to Beautiful Gowns by the legendary Aretha Franklin.
That's the PC way of saying that. It was a nice fit. I'm just happy that the cornrows were not there. That was my biggest takeaway for that. Thank God.
She had a cornrows moment?
U.S. Open last year. I was there. I saw it in person.
Oh, she competed in the cornrows?
Mm-hmm.
It couldn't have been. It had to be short-lived, because I don't remember this at all.
Well, I think she might have gotten out in the first or second round in that tournament. But yeah, we can Google it later. It wasn't the best. There were a lot of cornrow moments that year. Actually, there was a man from Europe somewhere with some cornrows. It was a very interesting time.
Oh, I think I remember who you're talking about. Arthur Cazot.
Was it Cazot?
Yes, I think he had a cornrow moment very briefly. If it was the U.S. Open, I'm not sure, but I remember he had a cornrow moment, and everybody was like, "What is going on?" Yeah, this wasn't a great segment for cornrows or Layla Fernandez. Sorry.
Yeah, that was interesting times.
Interesting times. Speaking of going back briefly to Lululemon, though, did you see their newest star compete in person?
I did
Francis
not.
Tiafoe?
No, I did not. I think he was up against other people that I wanted to see more. Or he might have been on a ticketed court that I did not have a ticket for that day. So he's a pretty big star. They probably put him on John Cain, which is like the third best court, or Margaret Court, which you have to have a significant ticket for that specifically as well. I didn't buy any tickets for Margaret Court because I'm here to see the stars. So all my tickets were Rod Laver, or grounds passes. Those are the only two options. If I'm paying for a ticketed place, I'm going to Rod Laver to see Bionic Center, Carlos Alcaraz, Coco Gauff, people like that. So
why would you want to give money towards an arena named Margaret Court? Why would you?
Listen. And that's also my mindset as well. And I was like, you know what? I know this doesn't go to her directly, but it's just the principle of the matter. I'm not giving that name any money. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not mad at it at all. So you didn't see Tiafoe. You did see Layla Fernandez.
Yep.
Tell me, like, when you were planning this trip, let's go like way back to like the origins of the trip. Before I go into who you were planning to see, how did you begin to plan the trip to Australia? Because in my mind, it is such a thing. Like, Australia just seems so many moons away, and with you having been to the 3 prior Grand Slams, I'm sure that made it seem closer. But how did you actually plan to get to Australia for this 2025 Australian Open?
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why it's last on the list, right? Because it's an effort, it's an endeavor to get to Australia. Days off, you have to soak up a day or eat a day with traveling each way, and so you're kind of stuck with a very small amount of time that you can be there and have a responsible adult job. And so, for me personally, I had always said it was the last one, but I was going to do it in 2025, and so I already had it set in my mind that I was going to do it in January of this year. And then once I found out the election results, I'm like, I'm definitely going during January 2025. But yeah, so I bought my ticket.
I just got sad. Sorry.
I know. We're trying to. It's like the elephant in the room. They were trying to.
We're gonna push past it.
But yeah, so I was like, this is the time. And so in October, I actually bought tickets to go to Australia. The bigger thing is buying your plane ticket and also finding your accommodations when you're staying there. Those are the most expensive things, because the actual tickets to the event, it's not very expensive, especially if you do the grounds passes, which is what I did just preemptively. I just bought a bunch of grounds passes, and then on days where I knew the schedule of play, then I would buy a ticket to Rod Laver. If it was like Coco's playing that day or Alcaraz is playing that day, I would just buy a ticket that day. But getting there and deciding to go there, it was just something that I knew I was going to do. And it's a matter of kind of setting aside and budgeting up until that point. I've known I wanted to go there for a couple of years now. So I've been putting money aside specifically for this trip. But even so, it's not a cheap trip. It's something that you have to really set some money aside for. Yeah, I told myself, I was like, this is gonna be my personal trip. I'm gonna live it up, and I'm gonna get like a business class or a first class ticket to go there. I was in coach, and because I waited to the last minute to pick my seat, I was in the middle seat in coach for a 15-hour flight, which is not ideal.
Did you get any like sleep? Anything like next to the word sleep? What happened in that 15 hours?
Going there, I slept about eight of the 15, which was nice because when I got there, I was able to like be alert. But the best thing about Australia is that there is coffee literally everywhere, the Australian Open grounds included. So there's coffee stands everywhere. So it's nice.
One of the last people I had on my pod mentioned just how much better the coffee is in Australia than it is in the States. Can you echo that same sentiment now that you've been there?
I wanted to be able to do that, but call me Jasmine Paolini because it's not really given what they say it's given, in my opinion. I think it's good coffee. I think what they have more of are boutique coffee places. So there's we have a lot of Starbucks on every corner. And I think they're comparing it to that. But if you go to a coffee place that's privately owned in the United States, it's comparable as far as the quality and taste, in my opinion. But yeah, I think they're just, they found something that they're good at and they're just going to like hold on to that for dear life. But I think personally, it tastes, and I love coffee. I drink it black. I don't put anything in my coffee. So I'm like a purist and I don't feel like it tastes that much better, to be honest.
You are stronger than me for drinking black coffee and for being in the middle seat for 15 hours. Two things that I do not think I'd be able to do at my 32 years of age, or almost 32 age.
Middle seat is not something I recommend. And I was sandwiched between two men. So I was like, can we get like someone petite in here? Like we all were fighting for the armrest. It was just like, this is very macho. I need to put me on a seat with some women, please.
I have some questions that I'm going to refer back to, but offline. So we'll get to those. Online, though, on the record, you said that you kind of played it by ear as far as what tickets you got for the main arena, Rod Laver Arena. When you got in there for the first time, who did you see and what were your feelings?
Yeah, my very first match was the Coco Gauff versus Sophia Kenin match, or Sonia Kenin, depending on who you ask. But that was my first match on day two. And that was basically day one because day one got rained out. And so this is the first match on Rod Laver Arena that is open. The sky's open. Everyone's there. The grounds are full. And when I walked in, I was like, this is a really nice stadium. It's quaint in a way that I like, right? Mm-hmm. So it's not overly big. I mean, Arthur Ashe is fantastic, but if you're not sitting in the first section, it's like, what am I doing here? I can watch.
You're looking at ants.
Yeah, I can watch this on TV. But in Rod Laver Arena, it's big enough to feel the kind of magnitude of the event, but it's small enough that no matter where you're sitting, you can have a pretty good view of the actual court, and people look normal size. And so it was great. My first day ticket was in the sun because the tickets in the sun are significantly cheaper than tickets in the shade. And so I paid for tickets in the sun, and I sat in the sun. It was very hot, but I had my all black on. I looked like what's Coco's last coach, that Brad Gilbert. I looked like Brad Gilbert because I had like this little hat on, and I look like an old man. But it was a good time. She was my first overall experience, and it was a good match because a lot on the line with Sonia Kenin and how well she's played Coco in the past, and you can kind of feel the tenseness of it all. Coco felt very tense, and Kenin was actually hitting the ball really well. And I was like, okay. I mean, Coco was always in control, but it was actually a tighter match than what the scoreline suggested. And so that was a really good intro.
I remember what it felt like to kind of be in the arena, because I think my very first big arena was Indian Wells, actually. And it wasn't even the main stadium. It was like Stadium 2. And I remember being like, oh, like I'm at a tennis event, like a actually very important one. So I always ask people what that feeling is like, because it's still a tangible one for me. And for Coco to be like the person that you see, I feel like it's very kind of full circle in a way, because we started this conversation talking about like your intro to tennis being Venus and Serena, and then the 2007 AO Miami, and then for like your AO wait, did I say 2007 AO? I meant Miami. We'll work that out.
A little bit of both. Yeah,
a little bit of both. And then now 2025 AO to see Coco Gauff, somebody that's obviously been inspired by Serena and her sister Venus, compete at such a high level. I believe Coco was the 3 seed at this tournament.
Yes, she was.
So like it kind of feels like through the years we've just been seeing the matriculation and impact and all of the things kind of come full circle. I know Coco didn't win the event, but people don't think about the things you just described and like how I kind of, made it more of an impact outside of just the wins and loss of it all. Like that is sports to me. And I feel like some of that gets lost if you're just always looking at the results and who made it to the quarters and semis. It's like, no, sports is an experience. To be able to say that you went to a different country to support players and get that experience is something that, one, a lot of different people don't get to experience, and two, like colors you as a person and gives you different perspective. Because this leads me into another question. Like, what did you is there any like misalignment to what you thought Australia would be compared to like what it actually ended up being for the time you were there?
Not necessarily. What I would say is I was surprised by the overall just hospitality of Australians. I knew it's a happy slam. Everyone's really nice. But when I say everyone is nice, as far as the hotel staff, the people working in the restaurants, like everyone's just really happy. I was like, maybe because it's summer here and everyone's just excited to be in the warm weather. But
and they don't have Donald Trump for president.
Yeah, right. Yeah, actually had one lady like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I was like, "Yes." She's like, "You're American?" I was like, I got that about at least 3 times when I was there. Like, "You're American?" I was like, "Yes." I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I was like, I'm actually here to not think about that, but but thank you so much. But no, it's everyone there was super nice and super hospitable, and that was a really cool experience to see. Like, it made me like change how I was talking to people, because being in the mid-Atlantic or the Northeast, you get a little hard on the edges as far as just dealing with people on a daily basis and understanding the culture here. And when you go somewhere like that, it's a little bit of a culture shock, having everyone be that kind of kind and welcoming and helpful and things like that. So that was the biggest surprise, I would say, from Australian standpoint.
What about the climate? Because in my mind, even though I don't think this is like 100% accurate, in the little bit of drama I carry with me in my day-to-day life, I would imagine to like get off of the plane and feel this rush of heat. Was it like that?
To an extent, it was warm. It definitely was warm. I walked outside, immediately took off the hoodie that I had on the plane. I gotta change right now. But I would say I would compare it to a Texas heat as opposed to like a Florida heat. Florida heat being very, very humid. You walk 5 seconds and it's just like you're sweating out your entire shirt. It felt a little bit more dry to me personally, which is interesting because they are on a bay. I mean, Melbourne is kind of in a bay, not really access to the actual ocean. It's a bay, a little more inland. And so you would expect it to be a little bit more humid given the water, but not so much. It was actually pretty dry heat. And I mean, I did have a changed shirt and draws a couple times during the day, but that's fine because we prepare for that. You know, we bring extra two per day, and so that's what we did. It's actually funny. They check your bags when you go into the Australian Open, and she's like, Calvin Klein.
Wait. So I thought you meant like in your hotel, you had extra of everything with you.
You never know. I'm hypersensitive about like things not being always fresh, and so the moment that I sniff something and it's like this doesn't smell right, I'm like body wipes, deodorant, change of underwear, change of shirt immediately.
I think that might be the hygienic doctor in you.
And I'm even more sensitive to other people. I was like, did you put on deodorant before you came out here in this 90-degree weather? Not so much.
You got some nose to that question sometimes? Nose with your nose?
I generally don't ask. It's more of something I ask internally. It's like, why? What? Like, who raised y'all? That's the question I ask myself.
How did we get here to this moment and where I'm smelling somebody else next to me in Rod Laver Arena?
Right.
How long were you there? I mean, you said you packed like several packs of underwear, Calvin Klein to be exact. Right. How long were you there? Like from getting off or loading yourself up to go to Melbourne to leaving? And I know you went to some other cities, as you should have. Like I thought you went to other cities outside of Melbourne. So tell us how like the length of stay was, and then the other cities you were able to explore? I'm interested.
Yeah, so the entire trip, I believe, was about 2 weeks, if I remember correctly, minus 2 days for travel. So we're looking at more like a 12-day period. So I did 3.5-ish days in Melbourne, maybe 4 initially. And then I hiked over to New Zealand, Auckland, for a couple of days, about 3 to 4 as well.
When you say hiked.
Oh, no, I got on the plane.
Okay.
I got on the plane. It's like a 4-hour flight, so it's like going from DC to California ish. So it's a trek.
You.
So yeah, I got there, kind of hung out, saw the sights there. I just wanted to get all I could out of that area before going back to the States, because who knows when is the next time I'll be way over there in that part of the world. Mm-hmm. And so I saw Auckland for a couple of days. That was nice. Non-tennis, got me a break from Melbourne. It was actually a little bit warmer over, and a little bit cooler over in Auckland, which was nice. And then I went back in about 3 days for an additional 3 days to Melbourne, where I stayed in more of like the local area with the locals, which was fun. But during that time, I also went back to the tournament, but it was a little bit more of a trek from my previous hotel, the initial visit of Melbourne. But I will say the thing about the Australian Open that I really loved was that it really is within walking distance of the city center. People say that all the time.
I was going to ask you that, yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And that's something that, the French Open is kind of sort of in a neighborhood as well. It's close to the city, but depending on where you're staying, it makes it very difficult. But there's just hotels and the downtown area, all the food is within a 15-minute, 20-minute walk from the actual stadium entrance. So, that's unbeatable. You can literally just walk there every day, which is nice.
That was something I picked up on from viewing. Like anytime there was a break in play or a change of ends and they would kind of pan and do the drone shot of the city, they would always say like the other slams are not necessarily in the heart of the city, whereas Melbourne has found a way to have the tennis inside like the financial district, the downtown of Melbourne. I think that's really, really cool because you don't necessarily have to do the trek you would from like Manhattan to Queens in New York, or I haven't been to the French Open Wimbledon yet, but they say those are not necessarily in the heart of the major city that they're located next to. So that's interesting that Melbourne has been able to do that and keep the tournament so intimate, because those two things don't necessarily go together in my mind.
Yeah, like
being a city and intimacy at the same time. So I think that's really it's. First of all, I'm jealous. I'm very jealous because everything about Australia just seems cool. From your experience being a fan and watching on television, I want to know if you agree with me on this. Does the AO feel like the most high tech of the slams?
No.
Really? And is that from your experience now, or
what? I would say from my experience.
Okay.
I think I think it's the U.S. Open. It's the most high-tech, fan-involved installations that, of all the slams. I do think it's unique in other ways. As far as it feels like you're almost at a music festival sometimes. There's like a lot of lounge chairs and bean bags and just open air, things like that. But as far as the fan hands-on experience, nothing compares to the US Open. It's just, I'm not sure if it's a sponsor thing or what, but there's just so many different things to do on the techie side of things at the US Open in my experience from going a couple times.
That is interesting. And before we dive into your US Open experience, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, I'm going to go through all of your Grand Slam experiences because you have completed the Fan Slam. And I want to know how it feels to hold a trophy at each of those because I haven't. I've only been the US Open champion twice as a fan. All right, so we're gonna take a break and then be right back. I guess pause for some ads. Don't skip through them, guys. This is how I get paid. Be right back.
If your business runs on 5 different apps, 12 browser tabs, and one spreadsheet that everyone's afraid to touch, it's probably time for Odoo. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that connects every part of your business into one powerful, easy-to-use platform. So instead of wasting time switching between disconnected systems, your entire business works together in real time. Your team moves faster, your data stays accurate, and you can actually focus on growing your business. Let one unified system run your entire business. From the first opportunity to the final payment, everything works together in one place. Whether you're a small business or managing a large operation, Odoo gives you one flexible platform built to grow with you. Learn more at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Pay's checkout is offered by your banks and credit unions. So when you shop online at participating merchants, your cards appear in one place, ready to use and kept up to date. And the best part, your actual card number isn't shared when you check out, because boundaries are healthy, like no work emails after 6. One small step for boundaries, one big leap for checkout. Pays. It checks out. Activation required. See Pays.com to learn more. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, we are back with Dr. Devin, and he is walking me through what it feels like to be a Grand Slam champion in the fan perspective, because he has now completed the Fan Slam, going to Australian Open, which he just came back from, the French Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open. But I'm interested, because we've talked about Australia a little bit, I'm interested in how you got there. So the first slam you went to, of the three that are not Australia, which was the first one you went to? And like, do you remember it? What do you remember from it? How long ago was it? Tell me all of it.
Yeah. So the first one I went to was actually Wimbledon. It was it's where I started. It was in 2021, and I was actually going to see specifically Serena Williams in the first round.
Oh, you guys couldn't see my face because of the horror, the shocking horror.
So if you know about tennis and you watched tennis in the last couple of years, you know what happened in the first round of 2021 Wimbledon. So, that didn't really happen and didn't really materialize into anything that's worth remembering or noting about. And so, at that year, that was a year they weren't doing the lottery system, which is the typical for Wimbledon. It's very hard to get tickets, but that year,
you mean like when they like camp out literally in?
Yeah,
tents?
exactly. I was like, I'm not doing that. But nope. Since it was the COVID years, they were actually just doing a regular online ticket sale. So first come, first serve. And so I was actually able to get tickets to the women's final that year. And so I saw Barty versus Pliskova in the finals, which was really cool to see on center court. Good experience. Not my favorite. I would probably rank it number 4 of all of all 4 as far as his fan experience and all that good stuff. But great time. I'm glad I went.
Yeah, I don't think I would actually put a Barty versus Pliskova match too high up on my list of things I need to rewatch or experience. Yeah. Respect to both of them.
We were so close to getting Sabalenka in that final, which would have been a lot more entertaining, but she lost in the semis to Pliskova, I believe.
This is tangential, but like, did you see Sabalenka at all in that tournament, like with your own eyes up close?
No, because I only saw her on the big screen. Yeah,
okay, but you still have experience being a little closer than most. Isn't it something to see like that Sabalenka to the Sabalenka we saw at this year's 2025 Australian Open? Like, I know she didn't ultimately win it, but like, doesn't it feel like two different players?
It does. I'm actually really happy she's been able to capitalize on her natural abilities and her gifts and her form, because she's a completely different player in how she plays, how she sustains herself during rallies, and mentally how she stays in there. Physically, she even looks different. It's like a whole different person sometimes when you're watching her play these days, and for the better. I'm a Sabalenka fan. She's like I would probably put her at my number 3.
There's a name for the fans I've seen on Twitter. It's like, not, how Serena had Rena's Army?
Yes.
I think it's a play on that, but like Arena's Army. Get it? Oh. Arena. Yeah,
I don't like that. Well, according to John McEnroe, her name was Ariana. Did you see that on when he was doing the? I was like, is Ariana in the room with us? It's
is John McEnroe's brain in the room with us? Like
Ariana Sabalenka. That was the first time I've ever heard her name pronounced that way. I was like, this is different. This is a choice.
John is a choice.
Yeah. No, different
Speaking
player.
of choices, I know, yeah. Speaking of choices, though, so anything else you want to spill about Wimbledon and getting that knocked off your list?
It was cool. Don't need to do it again, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Nothing like you got the prestigious quote unquote green grass experience, and that's good for you.
Yeah. The only thing that will maybe make me want to go back is maybe going to a second round day when there are multiple matches happening all at once, so I can see on the grounds how it feels. But going specifically during the finals and to Serena's wipeout was not yeah, it was not a great experience as far as just the overall fan experience. But from my kind of research, it tells me that the fan experience is not really the main focus of Wimbledon. It's more of the prestige of Wimbledon as opposed to, installations and, music playing, like just a normal kind of fanfare that you will find at like Melbourne or New York.
Got you. So if Wimbledon wasn't great in fan installations and like engagement, and the US Open you said is top tier, is the French Open in the middle? Or where would you gauge that experience? And when did you go to the French Open?
So I went to the French Open 2023, and it was like
You've been moving. This has been an eventful decade for you.
I've been moving. Yes, I have. Yeah, I actually went because of Beyonce. I was going to the Renaissance concert in Paris.
Oh yeah, did she start it there?
One of her first. I'm not sure if it was her very first, but I know it was one of the earlier ones.
Okay, yeah.
But I
the
actually
Renaissance tour, the days.
Yeah, we bring it back. Keep the country. I mean, you can do the country sets as well, but I want to hear more Renaissance in addition.
Y'all know how I feel about Cowboy Carter. I'm not going to go into
it. But what I would say, I went for her, and then it turns out that was a weekend that the French Open was starting. So I saw her one night, and the very next day I was at day one of the French Open. And it is kind of in the middle. They're not really focused on kind of fan experience either, in my opinion, just based off of what they have offering on the ground. But it is my favorite slam. I would go back there in a heartbeat. And that's because as a tennis fan, that's the one you want to go to. There's just so much tennis. You have these long, drawn out rallies and matches, and you really feel like you're getting your bang for your buck when you're watching tennis. Now, outside of the actual active tennis happening, not really much to do. Food's not great, in my opinion. Lots of coffee again, great coffee, beautiful coffee. But outside of that, croissant. But outside of that, nothing really much going on. But the actual tennis itself, by far exceeds anything else that I've seen in any of the other four.
You said 2023, right?
Yeah.
Which matches do you remember from that one?
That's when I saw Sabalenka first round. I saw Stefano Tsitsipas first round as well. I hate that we have to laugh every time we say his name. No,
I know.
We want him to do better.
Outside of Monte Carlo, yes.
Yeah. I saw Taylor Townsend right up close, like right on top.
Hey.
Yeah, that was great to see. She was playing Potapova, I believe, and that was a great match.
We'll get to Taylor Townsend in a bit. We'll get to her.
Yeah, and then just I saw a ton of people that day. That was a day I was only there for the day, and so I was there from sun up to sundown, just seeing matches all day long, and it was a great time.
That, you know what? You've put a ray of sunshine onto the French Open for me. Because I cannot say that I have the greatest experience watching it or like engaging with that one. And it's mainly because I'm not a fan that much of clay court tennis. You should know this as a listener into tennis. It's not high up, but I respect it because of where it sits, in the ethos of, or the atmosphere of tennis and its quote unquote prestigiousness. But I'm just gonna shut up.
It's great in person.
Go French Open.
Yeah. They do a good job.
So the US Open, have you been more than once?
Yes.
Have you won that one more than once?
Yes, I've been there twice. The highlight being 2023 when I was actually in the building for Coco Gauff to win her first maiden slam title. I was in the nosebleeds.
Wow.
I was up there. I could literally lift my nose and I would probably start to bleed out of my nose. But
touch the top of Arthur Ashe Stadium, huh?
Yeah. So I was like, oh yeah, I think that's her down there. She's wearing the red, right? But yeah, it was one of those experiences that I will keep with me for the rest of my life. It was a fantastic experience. But that was when I went that time, I just went for the final. The first time I went is when I actually did the day one, day two, which I highly suggest doing if you're going to a slam. Those are the best time to go. And so I did that, and I saw everyone. Rublev, Muguruza was still playing when I went that year. I'm just hitting all your triggers. I'm hitting all your triggers. But yeah, just a lot of different great players who are legends who are playing on the smaller course because they were maybe not at the legendary status they once were. So it's really cool to be able to see all those folks on their way out, I would say. So it's cool. I had a great time there. Fan experience on 100. That by far they exceed anyone else as far as just kind of things to do while you're there if you're not watching tennis.
Did you get to go to one of the La Roche-Posay little activations where they give you sunscreen?
I have sunscreen for like 3 years now because of the US Open.
So do I. So do I.
Yeah, I have so many of those things. I'm like, when does it actually expire? In 2026. So I have plenty of time left.
Yes, the tinted sunscreen, the mineral sunscreen, La Roche-Posay took care of me at that US. I went in 2021 and 2022, and similar to you when you said you went to Rod Laver and saw Coco, the first match I remember seeing at my very first US Open was a Coco Gauff match against Magdalene 2021 on Louis Armstrong, and I was like, oh my God, I'm here.
Yeah. There's a buzz in that room, in that building. It's like no other. It's very, very loud, but just energy. For sure.
I have another question in regards to like the travel experience, and I said I was going to circle back to that. And after we touch on this, we can get into like the Australian Open results and some other players some other questions I have for you about the players you said you saw. Mm-hmm. How did your skin fare in Melbourne? Because we talked about that. We talked about how great your skin looks in this moment. What did you pack? What could you pack? And how did you like deal with the sun? Speaking of like La Roche-Posay, they make a great sunscreen. This is not sponsored yet, but how did you deal with all of that?
Yeah, I basically took my entire skincare set in my checked bag, and I just rolled it out and laid it out on my hotel like bathroom cabinet there. So yeah, I always start off with just regular face wash, something gentle, nothing too crazy. I don't use any toner; it strips the natural oil off your skin, so I just don't mess with the toner at all.
Not even milky toner?
I don't do toners. Yeah, it's
all right. Okay,
yeah, my skin does not respond well to toner. So yeah, just follow it up with some vitamin C just to help with absorbing some of those sun rays. And then after that, moisturize with a separate moisturizer and then La Roche-Posay. And then boom, I'm ready to roll. But that's just for my face and neck. But you have to like use spray and things like that. The Australian Open does a really good job of having stations where you can literally put on sunscreen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, is it how do I delicately say this? I'm just going to say it. Is it black boy friendly?
Allegedly, I will say that it rubbed in perfectly fine. I had no problems with it like leaving any residue or anything like that. I didn't check the back to see if it was mineral versus non-mineral, but it did the job for like my arms and things like that. I would say, and they were giving it out like the Roche-Posay as well in a little handheld. So I have sunblock for at least 5 years at this point. So
we love it. We have to protect the melanin. We have to.
Got to.
Speaking of protecting the melanin, I think you were supporting some of the melanin in Australia. Would that be fair to say?
Always.
Always.
Always. I was going to put a little caveat in there, but I'm not going to do that because we're celebrating.
I think I know what your caveat is, but I'm going to leave it. We're going to circle back off the air. We're going to circle back. So you saw, speaking of melanin, you did watch Felix Auger-Aliassime up close, right? This is the Felix Auger-Aliassime that was off the heels of his Adelaide title.
Outdoor title at that.
Semi. Because Adelaide got a little awning to it. Like it ain't just like it ain't open to the world. It has a little I'm giving it to him because on paper that's an outdoor title. Mm-hmm. And you got to see like I guess the leftover of his form there, and he played Jan-Lennard Struff in the first round. Mm-hmm. What were your thoughts about seeing Felix? Was that your first time seeing him so close?
Yeah, first time seeing him at all in person. And I believe he was on one of the smaller courts on the side. And the benefit there is that you can literally walk up to the gate and look at him. So he's like grabbing his towel box, and I'm literally standing right in front of him as he's grabbing his towel. But yeah, he was playing so well. I was surprised that he was able to put Struff away so quickly. Struff is known as being a fantastic server, great forehand, and I figured on a hard court that would give Felix some trouble. But like you said, I think he was kind of riding the wave of the Adelaide tournament, and he kind of dismantled Struff in the first couple of sets that I watched. I mean, it was fun. He's very fast. I mean, they're all fast, but he was moving in a way that I was like, oh, he's a great athlete. And yeah, it's a great forehand, great serve. And yeah, I was really impressed with how well he was moving and how energized he seemed to be on the court. So I'm into it.
So how did we get a second round loss then, Dr. Devin? How did that happen?
Second round from 2 sets up, which is the important thing to note. to note there against Davidovich Fokina. I don't know what happened there. I know there were some issues with the noise from, I believe, was it Cazot who was bleeding over? I forget.
I think it was. They had to switch matches, which I've never really heard of. Sometimes I think they just play through that. But for whatever reason, the leftover or the bleeding crowd noise was affecting Davidovich Fokina versus Auger Aliassime, and they moved to another court. And I don't know if that like hindered the vibe, but yeah, Felix did lose up 2-0, and he's had a tough go of his matches in Australia, because I believe that was his third straight loss in Australia, in Melbourne Australian Open, being up 2-0 and still losing. So
yeah, that was tough to see, but yes, he was playing well when I saw him.
Wait, was he one of the ones that was on your list? Like, I need to kind of prioritize watching him.
Yes, he was. I've always liked Felix. It's been tough times for him recently. He's almost off my list at this point, but I'm trying to love him through it. And so hopefully he picks it up for the rest of the year. He had good showing in Australia in general, I would say, and if he can carry that form over, I think he will have a much more successful year than he had last year, because last year was no bueno.
My whole entire like setup is currently on like a desk made of wood. I want to knock on it, but I feel like it's going to mess up the sound. So we're going to magically like knock on the wood for Felix, because Lord knows he needs it. Lord knows.
Right.
Who else was on your list, by the way, of like, I need to see this person, or I really should try to see this person?
Actually, Muhova was on my list. She's definitely on my list. I saw her twice when I was there. She's like one of the two people I saw twice while being there. Let's see who else was on the list. Center, I think I wanted to see Alcaraz, but he was on the day that I did not have tickets for, and so I did see him practicing, which was fun to see. But
was he or was he not shirtless?
He had his shirt on, but I will say that was the day that he kept pulling up his pant legs, and that made the social media rounds. And so that was the day he did that, and it was making the kiddos go wild. Both he and unfortunately, I would say he and Nick Kyrgios had the biggest crowds around their actual practice session. Like you had to stand on someone's shoulders to see Carlos when he was down there practicing.
What was Nick Kyrgios doing? Playing patty cake?
I don't know. I literally walked past. I was like, "Who's over there?" It's like Nick Kyrgios. I was like, "Okay, cool. Y'all have fun. I'm gonna go into Kia Arena, which is right next to here. Are they playing doubles? I would rather watch that, to be honest."
Somebody that actually plays tennis, yeah.
But I mean, they love him in Australia. When I tell you that, you would think the way they were covering his first round, you would think he was running for president. It was everywhere, all day long. Even the next day when he made that announcement about he doesn't know if he's coming back to the Australian Open, they ran that story for like 4 hours, like on loop on Channel 9. Yeah, it was very interesting.
I think that bleeds into his head, and I think he thinks like that is the experience for him all over the world.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that, Nick, but wishing him something. I was going to say luck, but I'm not sure I'm ready to muster that up yet. I'm not sure. I'm ready to give that.
Something.
Yeah, wishing him something.
I'm going to steal that.
I mean, yes, take something from it. Maybe not luck, but something. I think we should talk about the actual champions and the results of this year's Australian Open. You start us off. Where do you want to go when it comes to this year's Australian Open?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't know. I didn't really pay attention to the men's doubles, but I think we should start with an order, maybe the women's singles first, and then move on to the doubles and the men's singles.
Okay, what were your thoughts? We got Madison Keys, which I don't think I said this in like the podcast mic yet, but Madison Keys is a Grand Slam champion.
Yes, she is. She is a Grand Slam champion, to many people's surprise. I would say I was listening to like podcasts, and I was listening to commentators on the TV, and no one was picking Madison to win that match. No one. And so the fact that she was able to pull it out and the manner in which she did it, it was actually really impressive to see the mental resilience to carry that match out to the end there. So
it was something to watch, especially like we've been in this Madison Keys like tennis world for a decade, and like it still doesn't feel real that she's a Grand Slam champion after just, I think she even came to terms. She has said as much that I didn't need this. I had come to terms with the fact that I didn't need this to feel like I had a good tennis career. But now that she has it, it's like, oh, like, yeah, you kind of did.
Like, oh, just kidding. I always knew I would be here. So thank you. Thanks for having it happen for me. Yeah, it was interesting. She really like out rallied and out hit Sabalenka a lot of that match. It was very interesting to see. I expected her. I mean, obviously, no one hits the ball harder than Madison Keys, sometimes even on the men's side. So she hits a very, very big ball. But typically, she kind of goes away when the rally starts. Sometimes, especially as the match goes on. But the fact that she was able to hold in there, and there were kind of extended rallies that she was winning consistently over Sabalenka, and that was really, really impressive to see, especially down the stretch in that final set. I was like, man, she's not quitting. She's holding serve. She's not dropping serve. There were a couple times she had to come back down from like love 40 in her service games, and she was able to do that. I was like, this is really like, who is this person? And it just goes to show you, like, once people find like that mental resilience, like some people you can't stop, and Madison was one of those people for sure.
See what happens when you get a Yonex racket? See?
You know what? I'm a Wilson guy, but what I will say is I've had a Yonex racket, and I use the same one that Stan Wawrinka used, the heavy, the V-Core heavy, and the power coming off that racket is something to behold. I will say it's just a little too heavy for my old man's shoulders.
You don't make 35 sound great.
It's not a great time physically. I'm not going to lie to you.
Really?
It takes, I would say the recovery is much slower for me.
You can just take some Clostebol. Too soon?
It is a little too soon, but I acknowledge that is a good joke, and I maybe I will. I'm not competing. I mean, hey, no one's testing.
No, they won't stop you. You can massage it into your elbows, into your chest.
Let me go ahead and go to Italy for a second. Apparently, it's over the counter there, so I go overseas for my drugs.
Speaking of drugs in Italy, I guess we can talk about Yonex Center.
Wow, what a segue! That is
what a segue. You know what? Yeah, respectfully, I know somebody's probably like cringing or being mad at me at this moment. I said this earlier on the Clubhouse. I can't wait to see like where this like saga ends with WADA, because if it ends like on his side and they, the appeal or the trial based off of the appeal shows that he didn't have much fault for whatever happened, I'm fine with that. I can chew it and go on about it, because he has literally now, as the 2025 Australian Open champion, he's kind of continued winning even with that drug not in his system. So he's kind of done the work to prove that, it wasn't just that thing keeping him in top tier competition. So I'm okay with it. I just kind of want it to be over so I can release myself from the jokes, and the cloud around him can kind of dissipate, because it is there, unfortunately, even when he is now a 3-time Grand Slam champion. So there's that.
I'm sure he wants it to be over as well. I think the hearing is set for April-ish or sometime in the spring.
Still too long away.
Yeah, it's a long ways away. So he has a while to still think about that. But yeah, it needs to be over at this point. But yeah, I think it had minimal improvement to his game. I don't think it affected him in any way. But it is, not great. Not a great look for someone who's the number one person in the world. And we had something similar on the women's side. And although that one seems to be brushed under the table in a way that this one has not been, we won't open that can of worms. What I will say is that
I'll keep it sealed.
Let's keep it above board.
Just what melatonin should have been.
Go to Costco. So I went to Sinner's first round match against Nicholas Jarry, and that was pretty stressful. I thought that he might be in some trouble in that first round. Nicholas Jarry, man, that serve and forehand they're ridiculous. That ball was coming off. I mean, I've never seen someone out hit Sinner off the forehand wing in the way that he was. It was something to see, but Sinner he's really, really good in those tight moments at this point. And I know earlier on in his career, during the tie breaks especially, he was not really converting the way he should. But in the tie break these days, he's on another level. And that showed again today against Alexander Zverev, when the tight moment came around and the tiebreaker in the second set, he was able to pull it out. And that pretty much took the wind out of Zverev's sails. So he's so good when it matters.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just itching to see him play Carlos again. I was like, okay, this is all great, but then you're losing to the same person over and over again. So I want to see that matchup ASAP.
Yeah, it didn't feel like the match that he played against Zverev was a Grand Slam final, unfortunately. Like, it didn't have an aura. And I think Sinner is the kind of player that isn't necessarily the marquee player by himself. He needs somebody like a Carlos Alcaraz or a more electric aura to kind of balance it out. And then you see the true like shine of Jannik Sinner. But he did hit a couple of like sliding, almost like skiing, like, because he grew up playing skiing. He grew up skiing. And how Djokovic was kind of synonymous with that like backhand sliding shot. I now have it in my head that Jannik Sinner does that better than him. And
interesting.
Yeah, it better / more interesting to me.
Yeah,
because Djokovic isn't.
I'm aware. I would say that I think that Djokovic's like flexibility in that moment is better, but I do think that Jannik is placing that ball and having it come off of his racket with more power in a way that I think succeeds or goes a little bit above and beyond what Djokovic was doing with his. But I mean, you got to acknowledge, this Tina Turner Beyonce, like it comes from Djokovic. He's the architect of that motion, but it doesn't mean it can't be improved, right? So that's what I think about when it comes time to talk about like the backhand slide and things like that. But yeah, Jannik does a fantastic job of that, and it always amazes me how well he's able to get into those corners because he's not. I mean, his physique doesn't really suggest that he's like a power mover, but I guess that the muscle memory from skiing all those years is really what kind of allows him to do that. But yeah, he's unassuming, but yeah, very.
Remind me to send you a picture of something that's been like kind of floating around on tennis Twitter of him in a stretch. And for some reason, that stretch just accentuates how I'm trying not to call him frail. I'm trying to search for another word. Please. What did you say, doctor? Svelte. Thank you. Because frail just has a negative connotation to it. He's very svelte. Yeah. And I don't think I knew he was thin, but something about the way his body looks in that stretch is like, oh, wow, you really have like 0% body fat. That's astounding.
Amazing.
But, if it works for him, you yourself are not actually that far off in the body fat department. We see you.
I'm lower than average, I would say. Yeah, lower than average as far as the percentage there. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough to maintain, but I think he's naturally so. Like I have to be on the Stairmaster for 30 minutes to keep that under control. But yeah, I think he's just a naturally slim guy, and he has a lot of power coming off of that slim frame.
I hate that you mentioned the Stairmaster because my Instagram reels, we were talking about like TikTok and stuff. My Instagram reels and like Facebook reels are how to get the best chiseled body by 30 minutes on the Stairmaster. And you've just mentioned that again. And I'm sure my phone has heard that. So when I open up Facebook, it'll be the first thing I see, 30-minute Stairmaster workout. I get it. I need to go. I get it. Oh, Dr. Devin.
Okay.
Where else do you want to take this conversation? Because it's been a great one so far.
We did talk about Taylor Townsend. I guess that's our last results thing.
Yes.
Yeah, great match. I actually was up for that one as well. My sleep patterns are like completely thrown off coming back from Australia.
Thank you, Australia.
Yeah, I'm actually up when they're actually playing. And Siniakova and Townsend are kind of pairing up again to win another Grand Slam. Second one, I think, as a pairing or as a duo at this point.
Yep, second one because they won Wimbledon last year. Yep.
Yeah. Playing against a very unlikely pair, and Shea Sue and Elena Ostapenko. Did not see that pair up coming, but it was actually a good match. I think Taylor served for it, and I dozed off, and I woke up again, and they were in a third set. So I was like, I'm not sure what happened in that game.
They blinked a little bit, yeah. They blinked.
Yeah. But yeah, they pulled it out in the end. I love when Taylor wins because she's great on social media when she wins a tournament. I think she's one of my favorite social media personalities in the tennis world, and so she's just so like herself, and I really appreciate that coming from people. But yeah, they killed it. They got another one, and hopefully this is a sign that they're going to continue to kind of dominate moving forward.
I think it's a good pairing, Townsend and Siniakova, because they've both proven that they can be successful with whomever is on the same side of the court as them. Like Sinyakova has been successful now with Townsend. Obviously, she had a great career with Krejcikova, but she also has played well in mixed doubles. She's a reigning mixed double gold medalist with Thomas Mahat, who she may still be dating.
Oh no, I think he has a new thing.
He does?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when your shorts are always hiked up to your crotch, I'm sure you get a little attention. So, Katerina Sinyakova, I'm thinking of you.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, we do love that though. We love a 4-inch inseam here on Tuned Into Tennis. We're not complaining.
Listen, I love to watch it and I love to wear it. Okay, I'm on both sides.
Right.
So, yeah,
that's right. Sinyakova herself actually had her skirt pretty high up in that doubles final. Neither here nor there. But Taylor, she can do it too. But Taylor Townsend has also proven that she can do it with any other partner, because she's made a U.S. Open final with Katie McNally, a French Open final with Leila Fernandez. She's won big titles with Asia Muhammad, and now she's won another Grand Slam with Katerina Sinyakova. So both of them are talented. I believe they were the number 1 seed, and I also believe Taylor is now going to go up to 3 in the world in doubles rankings. So she's doing it, and I'm a massive fan.
Yes. Shout out to John McEnroe.
Why?
He was.
What did he do?
You don't know the story about how he was kind of
Patrick McEnroe?
Oh, thank you, Patrick McEnroe. Yes.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about, and we can kiki about that afterwards, because I don't think I have anything that is nice for this mic. I don't think I have anything nice for this mic. I really don't. Let's see.
Love that for her.
We do. I love that because she mentioned this in her acceptance speech. Like, she won the junior girls title, and then not all of a sudden, 10 plus years later, she's here in the seniors event, bringing home an actual professional level pro title. So I have nothing but respect for Taylor Townsend. Somebody else I have a ton of respect for now is you, Dr. Devin, because you've come on to Tuned Into Tennis, and I really do. I've said this, and I'll say this on the mic and off the mic. I appreciate how you have just found Tuned Into Tennis and have kind of just, invited yourself into the community, and I can always look forward to like what you have to say on your socials, and it's just good conversation. And even just having this conversation on the pod today, I'm solidified in all of that. I just appreciate it, and the conversation is great. It's natural,
Yeah, what I'll say to that is that the tennis community is appreciative of you as well. Like, you've opened up lanes and doors for people who look like us or are a little different than the status quo of what tennis is traditionally known to be, have found a place in the community as well. And that's largely due to what you're doing on your end. So please continue to do that. We already see that you're expanding to other venues and doing great things in the writing space with Sports Illustrated and things of that nature. But we're all really excited to continue to see you grow and develop and become something even bigger than what you are now, and keep that kind of same energy as you move about your career, and becoming something that is we all can look to and appreciate as well. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I also have to get better at accepting comments and not making them like very obviously make me blush.
Your whole face is like,
me? I'm like, I just kind of keep my head down and do the things and talk the tennis. And then people start talking about me in the tennis. I'm like, oh no, wait, no. I try to hide, but I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. We haven't talked much about like what you do to help the world. Cause I mean, like, I have a tremendous amount of respect for doctors. So if anybody is in your area, if you're accepting clients, maybe, I don't know how you want to navigate that, but tell people who may be listening, like, how they can experience the wonderfulness that is your education in the medical field.
Yeah. So although I'm not here representing the company, I do work for Johns Hopkins. I'm an optometrist, mainly working in the medical eye care space as opposed to more the routine care. So we see a lot of patients who are coming in for diabetic eye examination, neurological conditions that affect the eyes. I do see some patients who are coming in for contacts and things like that as well. And so we're always we're always accepting new patients. So it's a simple Google search. If you're in the area, just type in my name. It should be the first thing that pops up. They do a pretty good job over there of controlling the internet. It's a big company. So if you are interested in having an eye exam, or if you just want to chat it up, or, have me come around to talk to your students, kids, things like that, love doing that as well. The best way to do that is kind of reaching out to me through the website or through my social media platform as well.
Which is?
The Fit Optometrist. All one word, The Fit Optometrist on Instagram. I do have a Blue Sky, but you're not going to find me. You're not going to find me there.
We're trying on Blue Sky. It's not bad, but it just isn't Twitter, unfortunately. Yeah. And we just have a ways to go. But your Instagram is popping. Like if you like the perfect blend of like fit millennial interested in tennis and traveling, I feel like you're a great representation of that. So
come on, I love that aesthetic.
A good follow. And if I'm not incorrect, isn't Dr. Wendy Ofeso a professor at Johns Hopkins or graduated from Johns Hopkins? Am I making that up?
Who?
Dr. Wendy Ofeso from.
Oh yes.
Is it Ofeso? Osefo? The one that tells us she has 5 degrees very often.
Yeah. So I don't know her personally, but I think she's still employed by the company. I think she's a teacher. I want to say she's a professor. I don't know if she does like clinical work, but I think she works in like the professor area of things. But
we can send this to her.
Yeah, we'll send it.
We can send it.
We'll connect with her offline.
And you guys compare how many degrees you have. Look at that. Look at that. We have made it come full circle. I love that. And I just noticed this. I didn't see your logo the whole time we were talking, but you're rocking the New Balance. The AO right. New Balance. Hey.
Yeah, they're like the official kind of sponsor of the AO, I think. They had ads running around the facilities. And so I got to support my girl. I was this close to buying the shoes, the CG2s, but the colorway was not my personal favorite at this point. But when they release some black ones, I'm on them. I need some. We love
an all black colorway. We love that.
Yeah.
And I've loved this conversation. So thank you guys for listening to Tuned Into Tennis. Thank you, Dr. Devin, for giving me all the lowdown on the Australian Open and what it feels like to be a fan career slam champion. I think I said that right. I like it. This hopefully isn't your first time on Tuned Into Tennis, or isn't your last time, I should say. We will definitely do this again because the conversation was great. In the meantime, though, make sure you guys follow at Tuned Into Tennis across all socials. Make sure you leave a review for this episode if you liked it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Reviews and ratings help the show grow tremendously, so I appreciate when you do them. Again, follow us on socials, and I will catch you guys on the next episode that hopefully isn't too much longer from now, because as I look down at my watch, I have some more recordings to do. So you'll be hearing my voice sooner rather than later. So stay tuned. I'll catch you guys later.